Folks, it is no secret that the 7-year anniversary is bringing with it some of the most hype EZAs you will ever see. The anniversary LR EZAs. The year 3 Gogeta and the year 3 VEGITO went from 10 to 11. They were already great units, and they've aged quite well with what they bring to the table. But with these EZAs, they have become top tier, easily top tier units in the entire game, jumping ahead 4 years, because they're about 4 years old now, and they are now at the forefront of the meta with their new abilities. Same with the Super Saiyan 4s. The Super Saiyan 4s have also received some massive and well-deserved upgrades during the 7-year anniversary, which makes them top tier units. The question for today's video: what are to become of the year 5 fusions? What are we going to do with these guys? These units are so much fun and so much hype, but unfortunately, these units have dropped off over the last couple of years since their release, and there needs to be a change. Whenever this EZA will drop for the year 5 LRs, what is it going to be and how good is it going to be? That is the question in today's video. We're going to be doing some speculation of our own to see if we can put together a relatively reasonable build for these units and their EZAs. If you guys want to follow along, feel free to come up with your own builds in the comments section down below. Let me see what you guys come up with. As you all know, I typically don't come up with the best ideas for speculation of EZAs. I'm generally wrong. I don't think I've ever been right, ever. Except for maybe like one part of Golden Frieza's passive. Other than that, I've been wrong. So you guys are better. Let me know in the comments what the potential EZA could look like for these units. Let's dive in. So this is my overall EZA projection for both units, and I want to mention a couple of things before I talk about this. Number one, the timing of the release is important, because if these EZAs were to happen soon after, or it's not exactly soon for JP, but if this were to happen within the 1 year time frame, then I feel like it wouldn't be outlandish of a claim to say that these LR EZAs would be built in a similar fashion to the year 3s and the year 4s. Probably more so the year 3s. But I would say that all of these EZAs would sort of be in the same bracket, right? Even though this is a year 5 unit, their EZAs would be similar because that is kind of the meta at this moment. If we were to wait 1 year and jump ahead to the 8-year anniversary or beyond that, then it is possible that this unit could then shatter the previously established meta and then jump to something further beyond, or achieve a new archetype that we've never seen before for an LR anniversary EZA. Because eventually, not only will the year 5s get EZAs, but the 6-year LRs will also receive EZAs. Ultra Instinct Goku and Royal Blue Vegeta will theoretically receive their EZAs either next year or the year after. Just think about that, all right? So with that said, these guys have to be busted. Another thing to mention is that all of these units with their EZAs, they got one major new component added to their passive. It wasn't just a simple making the numbers bigger, like making attack and defense plus 150 up to attack and defense plus 200, but they integrated a brand new mechanic into the unit's build. And that is something that we also have to incorporate in this projected EZAs for the VEGITO and the Gogeta. So looking at the year 3s, what they did was that they added a guaranteed critical hit and a high chance to dodge for the first 3 turns, which then drops off to high chance to perform critical hit and medium chance to dodge from turn 4 onwards. For the VEGITO, 30% damage reduction, combine that with the counter that he already has, and that's spectacular. That drops down to 15% after 3 turns. For the year 4s, they simply just added action nullification when performing an active skill in front of 2 or more enemies, or when using a key plus 24 or a 24 key ultra super attack. So these guys all got something really big. I don't know, I gotta be honest with you, I have no idea what something of this caliber could be added to the year 5s to make them unique. So I'm gonna try and sort of match this. I don't know if I will. If you guys can come up with some cool new mechanic, feel free, either an existing one or perhaps create a new one of your own. But let's see what we got here. So I'm just going to read this unit's build in his untransformed state, and then I'll switch over to my EZA prediction. Final trump card, Patara, E plus 3, 150%. All right, that's pretty obvious where we know that's going. Raises attack, causes colossal and mega colossal. And then for the passive, attack and defense plus 70, key plus 3 launches an additional attack that has a medium chance of becoming a super attack when attacking. High chance of evading enemy's attack, including super attack as the 3rd attacker in a turn. Transforms when conditions are met. I'm going to tell you right now, the transformation is not going to change. Doesn't matter when this releases, transformation will not change. 4 turns is a nice, that is a nice turn restriction for a transformation like this. So now let's take a look at my EZA. For the LR VEGITO, final trump card, Patara, jumps up to key plus 3, 180%. And then for the 12th key and the 18 key, raises attack and defense and causes colossal, mega colossal. That's pretty easy, right? Just simply adding another dimension. Now for the passive, attack and defense plus 150%, key plus 3, and launches an additional attack that has a high chance of becoming a super attack when attacking. So that is, I think, no, that is an upgrade because it was a medium chance before. I'm simply upgrading it to a high chance. This is, keep in mind, this is the base form, so the real hype stuff hasn't really kicked in yet. But I did incorporate an 100%, not 100%, but a 50% chance to dodge across the board. On the original build, it was contingent on being the third attacker in a turn. I gave this unit a 50% chance to dodge no matter where he's located. I think that is a justifiable and reasonable upgrade for the base form of this Vegito. Transforms from the 4th turn onwards. Now let's take a look at Vegito Bleu. This beautiful beast right here. Raises attack and defense, causes colossal. Raises defense for 1 turn, causes mega colossal damage to the enemy. For the passive, attack and defense plus 77%. Key plus 2 launches an additional super attack plus an additional key plus 1 up to 5, and attack and defense plus 7% up to 77 with each attack performed as the first or second attacker in a turn. Launches an additional super attack and has a high chance of evading enemy's attack as the third attacker in a turn. So he retains that 50% chance to dodge in the 3rd slot. So now let's take a look at what I did for this unit. Greatly raises attack and defense for 1 turn, causes colossal. Okay, makes sense. Massively raises defense for 1 turn, raises attack permanently, and causes mega colossal damage to the enemy. Why did I do this raising of attack thing? Just to add a little bit more, you know, increasing the parameters for this unit's super attack potential. You know, raising defense for once is good, but let's amp it up. Let's go crazy with it. I want to be reasonable, but I also want to be a little bit insane, because that's how hype these units are, and that's how hype they should be. Attack and defense plus 180%. That is a big change from 77, but just roll with me here. Foresees enemy super attack. So this is the new component that I've decided to integrate into my Vegito Blue. This is a Vegito mechanic that we've seen in the past. We've seen the STR Vegito have the ability to foresee enemy super attacks. For him, it was for 10 turns. For this one, it'll be permanent. Why? He's an anniversary unit. Give him that prestige factor. Key plus 2 launches an additional super attack plus a high chance to perform a critical hit, an additional key plus 1 up to 5, and additional attack and defense plus 8% up to 88% with each attack performed as the first or second attacker in a turn. So if we're going to keep this archaic mechanic right here, this little condition as the first or second attacker, I just want to lean into it really hard and make this a really good build. So I'm going to be giving him a built-in 50% chance for a critical hit as the first or second attacker. This is kind of similar to the STR Godku and hit. And then for the gradual increase in stats, I didn't go too crazy with this one because keep in mind, folks, he's already starting off with an attack and defense plus 180%. Now this might already be too much, but you know what? This is my build. I'm going to go with it. Moving on now. We've got launches an additional attack right here. Launches additional attack that has a great chance of evading enemy's attack as the third attacker in a turn. So we kind of went back to what he did before, but instead of making it 50% chance, we made it a 70% chance. And that is pretty much my build for this Vegito Blue. I think that that pretty much covers the essence of an EZA. We've boosted the numbers across the board, and we've also integrated a new component into the build that changes the game entirely. And for this Vegito, that is foreseeing enemies' attacks. Not that it's required at all, and it does kind of, I guess it somewhat works against the dodge, but also at the same time, it kind of feeds directly into it. If you have a super attack coming and you just don't want the smoke, you don't want to deal with it, and it's happening in the 3rd slot, throw this Vegito in the 3rd slot. Boom, 70% chance to dodge, you're golden. If all of your super attacks and all of your stat increases doesn't protect you enough, you just need to get out of it by a dodge, use the dodge mechanic in his passive. I think that's pretty good. And then for the active skill, nothing changes here. Massively raises attack temporarily, causes ultimate damage, can be activated when facing only one enemy, whose HP is 50% or less, starting from the next turn, attacking turn once only. So that's not going to change, nor will the transformation conditions. But that is how I built my Vegito. And basically the Gogeta is similar with one minor adjustment. So let's take a look at this unit. Pre and post EZA, it's basically the same thing as the Vegito. The passive that changes is on the Gogeta Blue. This is where it changes. So I'm going to read the original one. Attack and defense plus 77%. Key plus 5 launches an additional attack plus an additional attack and defense plus 77% with each attack performed. Attacks effective against all types as the first or second attacker in a turn. So this is a big change because he doesn't launch an additional super attack guaranteed. His attacks are effective against all types. And this is unfortunately where I think that the Vegito Blue is better. Now, when it comes to these EZAs, do we either lean in on this disparity or do we try to bridge the gap and bring them both to the same level? In my opinion, I think you just amplify what they do and make it better and just sort of try to balance it out that way. So that's what I did with my predicted EZA. Launches an additional super attack that has a high chance of evading. The second part of the passive is the same. So now let's take a look at my Gogeta. Same exact thing, raises attack and defense for the colossal, mega colossal. And then for this one, same exact thing. So the base form is exactly the same. For the LR Gogeta Blue, greatly raises attack and defense for 1 turn, causes colossal damage to the enemy. And then this is where things change. For the Vegito, it massively raises defense for 1 turn and raises attack permanently gradually. For the Gogeta, massively raise attack and defense for 1 turn, cause mega colossal damage to the enemy. The reason why I'm giving this guy a little bit more of an increase right away is because this guy is not launching a guaranteed additional super attack. Instead, his attacks are effective against all types. So now for his passive attack and defense plus 180%, he plus 5 launches an additional attack that has a high chance of becoming a super attack. So I threw on a high chance of becoming a super attack here. Here, it's just a launching an additional attack. There's no additional super attack there. So I threw that in there. So it's conditional. It's not guaranteed. It is conditional. So that kind of leverages out this unit's value with the Vegito Blue. Now this actually is now if you were to pick this guy over Vegito, you have justifiable cause for it. Plus an additional attack and defense plus 8% up to 88 with each attack performed. Attacks effective against all types and performs a critical hit as the first or second attacker in a turn. So I added a guaranteed critical hit in the first or second slot to once again give this unit more value so that it is on par with the Vegito. And then for the final portion, launches an additional attack that has a great chance of dodging as a third attacker in a turn. So that is what I think could help kind of bridge the gap between these two units. I've always thought that the Vegito is unquestioned the better unit, but I would like to sort of make them both viable with their EZAs, and this is how I think it could happen. Is it crazy? Yes. Is it ridiculous? Yes. Will it happen? Possibly. I mean, look at what Dokkan does with these EZAs. Is that really an outrageous prediction? You're probably right, but still, I wanted to do that. So that is my prediction for these EZAs. Let me know in the comments what you can think of as well. Guys, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to leave a like down below. Let me know in the comments what your projected EZAs could look like for this Gogeta and Vegito Blue. And when do you conceivably think these EZAs could be happening? Could it be as soon as the worldwide download celebration in about 2 months? Or could it be happening during Christmas or perhaps during the 8-year anniversary? Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Also, be sure to subscribe for more dope content in the future and click the notification bell so that you let YouTube know you want to see more of my stuff. Do it. Thanks again. Stay tuned and always remember to Dokkan responsibly.